Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. In the next 2 drops coming your way in this video, we are going to hit the battlefield with an oldie but a goodie that I have dusted off, and I want you to think about it as the ECM Hunchback. Now, it's not really a hunchback, it's a cataphract, the cataphract 0 XP, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll see why I want you to think of it as an ECM Hunchback. Now, I headed off to the left side of my team's flank in Delta 4. Not much was going on, and that's when I noticed a bunch of enemies are in the basement. So I dropped down into the basement to join my teammates, and it is definitely a target-rich environment. Look at everyone down here. We've got, what, a Hellbringer back there, a Marauder 2, a Wolfhound. I see there's even a quick draw, I think, running back and forth across the way, and there's something off to the left. I believe it's a Jaeger, and we'll see him a little later on. And I'm focusing these mechs, trying not to shoot my teammates because we're all kind of clustered in here in very tight, close quarters. And I want to make sure I don't shoot somebody in the back. But that Marauder, he had it coming, and we chalk up our first kill of the game. And it looks like my teammates have finished off the other mechs that were down here as well. So that puts the score at 4-3. It feels like it should be about 8-3 at this point. There was just so much action going on in the basement. And what is that? That is a Wolfhound. That could be the Wolfhound that was initially with that group in the basement. He has gone out. So I'm pushing out of the basement, kind of in pursuit, also to get an eye on additional enemy targets since we've cleaned out the basement. And they're all above us. So there is a Shadow Cat there, something directly above me. And I think there is something else off to my left, as well as getting shot from in front. Yeah, they are heavy up on the top. That's what it is. There's a sniper over towards Charlie 4. So I'm heading towards Echo 5. I want to get some of these building structures between me and the sniper, and that's when I see this Crusader, and he is running, giving me his back, and there is kill number 2 in this match. So now I'm into the structures in the center port. Probably should have continued pushing to Echo 5, because what I don't realize is even though I see a lot of blue icons around me, my teammate is still pretty much in the basement. I am the only one up top here in the center, and that's why I'm getting focused so heavily by the enemy team. It's because there is no target diversity. I am it, and that's allowing all of them to focus me down, and eventually enough is enough, and they punch through my back. And we finish this one off with 2 kills, 2 assists, 543 damage done. Moving on to our next drop. This is going to be a conquest match on Grim Plexus. And while that plays out in the background, I want to talk about a few things, like the cataphract in general, this build specifically, maybe some mistakes. Well, okay, let's not call them mistakes. I don't make mistakes. Let's say oversights that were made on my part. And most importantly, I want to delve into why I'm calling this the ECM Hunchback. The cataphract is one of those mechs that over time has fallen out of favor and popularity in the game. It's not that it's necessarily a bad chassis. Its other mechs can do the job a bit better, and the biggest detractor to this is the low weapons mount. Now, comparing the cataphract to the Hunchback side by side, obviously the first thing is aesthetically they are very different mechs. Now, they have some similarities as well. You can see the weapons loadouts are going to be somewhat similar, and that big gun is going to be on the right side in both of these mechs. But hopefully you noticed just how low the weapon mounts are in the cataphract. Everything is at waist level, thereabouts. So therefore you have to expose a lot more of your mech. Where the Hunchback has that big right torso, you can still do some right hand peeking And you can also do horizontal peeking, clearing the ridge line with that big right shoulder and getting a shot off. Cataphract, not so much. You've got to expose your whole mech to bring all of your weapons to bear. Taking a closer look at the Cataphract and this build specifically, under the hood we've got that big AC-20 4 medium lasers, ECM, and currently running 69.4 kph. Statistically, we've got that 70-ton mech with a 40 alpha and 400 armor points. Now conversely, taking a look at the Hunchback, that's a 50-ton mech with a 35 alpha and 320 armor points. So they're very, very close in comparison, especially when it comes down to weapons loadouts. Your alpha strikes are within 5. Cataphract is going to give you ECM and a bit more armor protection. With that comparison, you should be able to see why these two mechs are so closely compared and why I'm calling this the ECM Hunchback. The weapons loadouts are almost an exact match, and they share a lot of the same statistics. The Cataphract is a bit beefier than the Hunchback 4G, but with that ECM on board, that means you have lower observability on the battlefield, and that can also help you out maybe doing some additional shenanigans that you might not be able to get away with in a Hunchback 4G. I also mentioned earlier that there were some oversights on my part, and that boils down to, as I was getting ready to do this video and reviewing everything, it came to my attention that my build on the Cataphract might not be the optimal build. So I went back in and reworked some things, putting in a light engine. And what that allowed me to do is do some additional tweaks to this chassis, bump up the armor a little bit, bump up the ammo a little bit, and get some more speed, topping it out at 75.2 kph. So it is much more maneuverable, feels less plod-like when you play it on the battlefield. I took it out for a quick spin. Unfortunately, my recording was not on. Had a great match, 4 kills, 689 in damage, but it feels a whole lot different with that larger light engine in it and the additional tweaks. Speaking of tweaks, if you're enjoying the content thus far, maybe you should tweak that subscribe button and the like button as well while you're at it. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content like this. And guys, I can't thank you enough for helping this channel grow, getting this information out to especially new and aspiring pilots coming into the game. Jumping back into the action on this drop, we did some capping early on, and then as we pulled into EPSI, we managed to come across an Ebonjag, and we got some shots out on him. We managed to open up his back, and that's when he scurried off to link up with his teammates at Hotel 7 for extra cover. Now we've also managed to find that Hellbringer. I dipped off towards Hotel 8 and then reversed course. Kind of a juke. I think he thinks, fingers crossed, that I am heading for the cap point and is somewhere out in I-8, and that's why I reversed course. And now I found a Stormcrow, so we get some good shots out on him, get a UAV up to see where his teammates are, and now we're going to go toe-to-toe with this poor Stormcrow, taking off that right torso. So his mech is heavily damaged now, and I hopefully have messed with his heat management. So locking onto him, yes indeed, he is a laser vomit build with an open back, half his mech is gone, and I think he's going to be struggling with lots of heat issues. In fact, he gets a shot off and shuts down, but there's a Cyclops. Got to be careful of that Cyclops. He's not looking at me just yet. Let's see if I can finish off this Stormcrow, and sure enough, he is definitely having heat problems, shutting down after each alpha. So I just need to take that second torso, and there's the kill shot. That's one Stormcrow off the board. Reversing course real quick. Here comes the Cyclops. He is coming after me full bore now, but he's open right torso. I just need to see if I can get a good kill shot in. That should hurt his mech just like it did to the Stormcrow. And There's the shot. Not only did we take the torso, but he must have been running XL, so we managed to get the kill on the Cyclops for kill number 2. The bad news is, while all of this is going on, the rest of my teammates have not fared as well, and I am now last man standing. That means I'm going to get focused to death by the enemy team, and this Arctic Wolf is just having a field day launching missiles at me until they manage to focus me down. So switching over to our end screen on this one, we wind up with 2 kills, 1 assist, 576 damage done.